is the lesson for 2-6, ratios, rates, and conversions. So what we need to do here is convert 25 miles per hour into meters per minute. So we need to know some conversion factors. And so if you're unsure, you can always go to Google and just Google how many miles are in a meter, or better yet, how about 1 meter equals how many miles? Doesn't really matter either way. I'm going to do that. 1 meter, and I found out, I just typed in 1 meter equals, and then I wrote miles, and it gave me this number, 0.000621371 miles. So that's pretty precise. It probably goes even further, but that'll be good enough for us for now. And so I need to know that, and I need to know how many minutes are in an hour. So I'm going to write down 1 hour equals, and then I'm going to write down 60 minutes. Now you could have used the conversion factor for 1 mile equals how many meters, and that would give us the same answer eventually. So either way will work out. And so let's start this one, 25 miles per hour. And what I want to do is I want to multiply it by some conversion factors. And so I'm going to multiply by 2 different conversion factors to equal, and then I'm going to try to go to meters per minute. So when we're trying to convert, we want to cancel out units we don't want. For instance, I don't want miles, but I do want meters. So I'm going to put the miles down below in this fraction to try to cancel it out. I'm going to put meters on top so I can hold on to it. And see, that's where I want it. So I want the meters on top, and that's why I can get those miles to cancel. But 1 meter doesn't equal 1 mile. I have to go to the conversion factor here. Notice 1 meter equals this many miles. So I need to write down 0.00006, and then it was 21371. And then this is 1 meter is to this number of miles. Okay, so now I've canceled out miles. Now I'm going to cancel out hours. So I'm going to put an hour on top, 1 hour on top, and I'm going to write down 60 minutes down below. And the reason I did that is because I want to cancel out the hours. I want to hold on to the minutes on the bottom of the fraction. That's where they need to be. So now all I have to do is multiply. See, when I go ahead and do this, I'm going to multiply the numbers across, 25, and I'm going to multiply this number by 60. So that's where we'll leave the calculator. And so 0.000621371. I'm going to use all those numbers there. And then I'm going to multiply that by 60. And so I get this number here, 0.037, and add some other numbers in there, 28226. So 28226. Okay, so now I'm going to just divide these. So I take that number, I'm going to clear this. I'll do 25 divided by, and then I'll write in that other number, 0.03728.226, and then this equals, and then I get this number here. So 270, and we'll just round to the nearest whole number there, or maybe to the nearest tenth. So I'm going to say this is about 270, and then if I round to the tenths place, that 6 is going to round that up, so we'll say about 270.6 meters per minute. Alright, so this next one, see how the seconds are the same on the bottom, so we don't have to do anything with that. All we have to do is change meters to feet. So let's start off with what we have. We're going to have 1 conversion factor. And so we need to figure out how many meters are in 1 foot. And so when I look up on Google and it tells me, and I write in 1 foot equals how many meters, it said that it was 0.3048 meters equal 1 foot. That's the conversion factor I'm going to use. So I'm going to try to cancel out meters. So I'm going to put the 0.3048 meters on the bottom of the fraction, 1 foot on the top of the fraction. And see, what will happen is the meters will cancel out, leaving me just with feet per second, which is what I want. And so all I have to do is do that division. 10 feet per 0.3048 seconds. And so I go ahead and do that division. So I'll need that calculator again. Clear this screen and do 10 divided by 0.3048. Do the equal sign, and there it is. And I'll round to the nearest tenth again. 0 is not big enough to round that up, so we'll say it's about, that number was 32.8. 32.8 feet per second. And again, I'm just rounding to the tenths place. Now let's take a look at another problem here. And here it is. We're going from miles to kilometers. So again, I just pressed in 1 kilometer equals how many miles? Well, I already saw that it was 0.0006, so that's going to move the decimal 3 spaces to the left when I go to kilometers. So it's going to be 0.621371 miles equals 1 kilometer. The next one I need is gallons. And so when I look at the conversion chart, I just go ahead and do the same thing, plug in 1 gallon, and I see that 1 gallon equals 3.7854 liters. And so now I'm ready to go ahead and set up my problem. So I'm going to start with 32 miles per gallon, and I'm going to multiply it by 2 conversion factors. And when I go ahead and do that, I'm going to get kilometers per liter. So I want to cancel out miles, and I want to make kilometers. So I'm going to put the miles down below, the kilometers on top, because that way the miles will cross cancel. So it says right here, 1 kilometer equals 0.621371 miles. And then I'll get those miles to cancel. Now I want to cancel out gallons. So I'm going to put gallons on top. Put gallons on top to cross cancel the gallons here. And I'm going to put liters on the bottom. It says 1 gallon equals 3.7854 liters. So now I've got these gallons to cancel. So I'm left with kilometers over liters. So I just multiply. So I see on top it's just 32 times 1. Down below I got these 2 numbers to multiply. So pulling out the calculator, I have to just plug in 0.621371 times, and then 3.7854. So that gives me this number, 2.35, and then I'll just write in a couple more. How about 234? 214, I think it was. And so now I have to do that division. So let's go ahead and clear that screen, and I'll take 32 divided by, and I'm going to do the 2.35214 equals, and I'm going to round to the tenths place again, so 13.6 looks like 13.6, and these were kilometers per liter. Alright, so the next one says 14 gallons per second. So let's go ahead and write that in there. And so we're trying to multiply by 2 conversion factors here, because we need to change gallons to quarts and seconds to minutes. And that will give us quarts per minute, which is what I want. So I remember that there are 60 minutes, or 60 seconds in a minute. So I'm going to put the 60 seconds on top of the 1 minute on the bottom, because I want those seconds to cross cancel. And then I'm going to cancel out the gallons. So now I need to figure out how many gallons are in a quart. Well, I remember from last year that 1 gallon equals 4 quarts. So I'm going to try to cancel out the gallons. I need to put 1 gallon on the bottom, because I need to cancel that gallon that's on the top out. And I'm going to put the 4 quarts down up on top, because I want quarts on top. So now I get my gallons to cancel, I just multiply across. So it looks like the only number on the bottom is going to be 1, so that's good. So I just need to multiply these others. So I had 14 times by, let's see what else we had here. Get this out of the way, 60 times by one more number, 4. That gives me this number, 3,360 quarts in 1 minute. Now let's take a look at the last problem here. It says if a shirt costs $9.99 find the price in euro. Well, I just so happen to check the conversion factor right now. The rate at which $1 is 0.89 euro right now. So 0.89 euro equals $1. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take that $9.99, and I'll write that as a fraction so you can see some cross-canceling that goes on. And I want to cancel out the dollar. So I'm going to put the $1 on top, and I want euro. So I'm going to put the 0.89 euro on top, $1 on the bottom. And that way the dollars will cancel out, and I just multiply across. So then we'll just go ahead and take those numbers. 9.99 times by 0.89. And I go ahead and do that work. It looks like it's $8 or $8 and 89 hundredths of a euro. So we'll write that 8.89. I believe that's what the number was. Yep. Now, 1 is not big enough to round that up. So euro. And that's what the answer would be. So that's what you're going to see on tonight's homework. Good luck.